Hello, I'm your Kingdom, Spiritual, Transformational, and Life Purpose Life Coach and Mentor, Latricia Booker. And we are here to be empowered, to heal, to get delivered, and to get free. We know who we are. We elevate our minds and our spirits and raise and expand our consciousness to ultimately walk in our true divine purpose and power. And that is the truth of who God has created us to be. Kingdom people, we are history makers. We are world changers. We are dream successors. We are wealth generators. We are manifestors. We are curse breakers. And we most definitely are transformers more than meets the eye. Yeah, Kingdom people, we are. Kingdom people, thank you so very much for viewing my videos. Thank you for the likes, subscribe, shares, all your comments and feedback, for all your financial contributions to my channel, for all the seeds that you sow into me and my ministry, for all of your purchases, and for all of your bookings. Kingdom people, thank you. Thank you, Kingdom people. And so, yes, Kingdom people, I am on location, and I am here so we can break these chains. Are y'all ready to elevate? Are you ready to activate? Let's go, Kingdom people. So, I need to take me a little drinky drink. I'm very thirsty, Kingdom people. Excuse me. I'm drinking iced tea today. Iced green tea today from Dunkin'. And this is my water. Just had to take get a little drink because I was getting thirsty. So anyhow, Kingdom people, they have been compromised. They have been compromised. They have been compromised. This is something that God has been speaking to me over the last week. This week. Today is Friday. And so, Kingdom people, some people have already been operating in unclean spirits, and or just have issues, underlying issues that have never been dealt with, traumas that they never hear from. You know, people have this thing where, you know, and it's very common where people go through things in life, very traumatic experiences, and they never heal from them. They just go on with life. And the thing is, just because you move on with life don't mean that those things are cleared up. You have to, on purpose, clear those things up. You got to face those things. You have to deal with them. And I'm hearing therapy. Sometimes therapy helps, helps with your healing process and things of that nature. And so what happens is when people don't properly deal with these things, those issues are still there, and entities attach themselves to them, and they become unclean spirits. And it also happens when there's sin there. It happens too when people are not letting God lead them. For instance, if God tells leads someone to, let's just say, move to Oklahoma, and they don't do it, that's disobedience. And what happens is when people are constantly in disobedience, they develop unclean spirits. And when people are tied to certain people that have unclean spirits, they develop unclean spirits. And sometimes they already had their own. So it just compounds, and then some people develop them further because they're involved in situations or around people in a place where they allow certain things to go on and happen that they shouldn't be allowing, and or condoning it or enabling it. It's that thing too, again, where you become a partaker of whatever is happening. And so when people do these things, God has said they have been compromised. They're compromised. And when you're connected to people or mingling with people or engaging with people or having relationship with people that are operating in demonic, have those demonic unclean spirits, and I'm just here operating in witchcraft, when that people have that. And sometimes God, again, would tell people to remove themselves from people, and or just, well, it's the same thing. Within a spirit, they know they should. But because of codependency, because of familiarity, sometimes because of guilt, because of being afraid of the unknown, if they don't continue to do what they have known to do, they continue with things that they probably shouldn't be. And specifically, especially if God has said, let those things go, let certain people go, or handle them in a different way, don't have such a close relationship, or whatever the case may be. So what happens when people do these things, they become compromised. And the thing is this, God will allow certain things to go on so long because there's sometimes a cutoff time. Shouts out to you, Miss Shelley. So yeah, it's a cutoff time. And let me give you an example. You may have been around certain people, and over time, you begin to see certain things with these people. They had certain things going on. There may have been some underhanded trying to, knock you, make you feel away, all those attempts to just pull you down, so to speak. And you may have tolerated it for some time, but it came a point when you knew you couldn't do that anymore. Whether it be just you, or whether it be God, or whether it be the both of you, just in agreement with, because, it's enough is enough. You get to that place, and that is the cutoff time. Now, once the cutoff time has happened for you, like when you have a cutoff time, and the people that you have had to cut yourselves off from continue in whatever things that they're doing, even where it doesn't concern you, but just in their lives, they're compromising themselves. They're still operating and doing the things that are not pleasing to God, and or those things that God may have been dealing with them with, and or they just know they shouldn't. They just continuously going in a way that God is saying no. So you've removed yourself, and what happens is when you remove yourself, they're further compromised if they don't straighten up, so to speak. And the other way of that is they compromise themselves outside of you by, again, being involved in things, activities, and with people that don't serve them, that are compromised themselves, or they may be the compromiser. In other words, someone who proactively compromises people. In other words, they are an agent of Satan on purpose. They are here and planted here to destroy people, to keep people from moving forward in the things of God. And again, if you know that this is the case with someone, and people operate in this kind of a spirit, and you continue to engage them, you are now compromising yourself. And so, kingdom people, some of them ones, that have played the role of your enemy, and some maybe not so much, but because they have been compromised, they are compromised. They have been compromised. Let me see if I can make that make sense. We already knew they were compromised because we knew they were operating in an unclean spirit. We knew how they were handling themselves with us. We could see those spirits in them. We saw, we knew, we experienced it. We knew they were already compromised because of what was in them. And so when they go on and don't do the work that needs to be done so they won't be compromised, in other words, get free, get delivered, and they attach themselves to someone else, or continue to be attached to someone who's there, who either is compromised too, or is there to compromise them. And I'm just hearing knowingly, because sometimes people know that this is what's happening, not understanding they're compromised. They're compromising themselves. And so they have been compromised. And many people are experiencing, I just heard a drought. I wasn't going to say that, but that's what I heard. What I want to say, it's not pleasant in their lives. It's not pleasant in their soul. It's not pleasant in their spirit. I'm hearing it is not well with thee. It's not well with them. And that's because they have been compromised. When you have been compromised, and when you're compromising yourself, because now many of these people, they're at a point that they're willingly compromising themselves, whether they see it as that or not. That's what they're doing. But the point is, they have been compromised. And you can see it. Now, for you, you already know this, kingdom people. But be mindful of that, because you don't want to compromise yourself by being around someone who has been compromised, and or who is a compromiser, and they have been compromised. Because if you're a compromiser, you there to compromise other people, clearly you're being compromised because you work for Satan. So, oh, that's not funny, but you get what I'm saying. So, kingdom people, Psalms 119 and 1, 2 through 3. I ain't being compromised, kingdom people. I ain't being compromised. Psalms 119, they wish. They tried. To no avail. Psalms 119 and 1 through 3 says, joyful are people with integrity. That's you, kingdom people, who follow the instructions of the Lord. That's you, kingdom people. Joyful are those who obey his laws and search for him with all their hearts. That's you, kingdom people. They do not compromise with evil, and they walk only in his paths. Kingdom people, that's you. You don't compromise yourself. You don't compromise yourself with evil. Again, when you know someone is operating in the evil spirit, you know what it is. God, you didn't experience it. God then showed you what it is, and you continue to mingle with them. That's compromising yourself. You don't do that. It says they do not compromise with evil, and they walk only in his path. You walk in God's path. You allow God to lead you. You only engage yourselves in activities and deal with people that are also walking only in his path. I mean, you come to that, of course, over time we learn that, and God starts to pull us away from certain things, places, people, and all that, because he doesn't want us to be compromised or further compromise. But for us, it's always part of God's plan, learning, developing, and learning these spirits. We had to experience them so we could learn them, and they were there to help to develop us, to overcome. They were trying to stop us, but God was using them to elevate us. But anyway, that's another thing. The point here is this, kingdom people. You don't compromise yourself. You don't compromise with evil. You walk in the ways of God. But these ones, they compromise with evil. They try to find a way to work it out with whoever, the evil people, or the people they know operating these unclean demonic spirits. They go along with things because I guess in some ways they think it's okay, but it goes deeper than that. Because as I said, some of these people are just very, I hate to say this, but I'm hearing weak and codependent. They don't know how to stand on their own. They need people. They need people more than they need God. And I say that based on the way they operate, because they're compromising themselves. So, Revelation 2:20 says, but I have this complaint against you. You are permitting that woman, that Jezebel, who calls herself a prophet, to lead my servants astray. She teaches them to commit sexual sin and to eat food offered to idols. And so this scripture is just speaking. It starts off to say, I have this complaint against you. And so it's speaking of this Jezebel. And, the woman in the scriptures that she was a Jezebel. She led people astray. It says here she even called herself a prophet. And here's the thing. It goes back to when people know who people are and what they are and the spirit they operate in, and they okay with it and they go along with it, they compromising themselves. Again, they might already be compromised, but they further compromise themselves when they do that knowingly, knowing that that's, kingdom people, this is what I'm getting to. Their compromise has elevated. You may be noticing people, or you will notice people. Already they kind of compromise. You may even have hope for these people. You may be praying for these people, praying for their deliverance, praying for their healing, praying that God will, praying that God's perfect will be done in their life. You have hope for these people. But you may notice or be noticing or will notice something is different. Something going on. Something is not right. you see it, you sensed it, like this is not this person. That's because they have been further compromised. They have been further compromised because they still engage and mingle in things that they shouldn't, basically. Especially if they consider themselves a child of God. And, well, yeah, especially if they consider themselves a child of God, because if you're a child of God, you're supposed to walk with God. You're not supposed to compromise. You know, again, as time goes on and on, God elevates us more and more. He pulls us away from certain things. He don't do it all at one time. We're continuously yielding to Him and surrendering to Him at the right time when He sees fit. It don't all happen for us all at once. But as time goes on, God is dealing with other people just as He deals with you, kingdom people. But everyone is not listening. I'm here listening to the call. That's why many are called and few are chosen. Everybody doesn't answer. They don't, do the things God is calling them to do, telling them to do. They compromise. They even try to compromise with God. It's kind of like God might say, I want you to, I'm going to use a simple example. I had one that was a bit extreme. Let's say God tells you to move to Florida. And you say, no, I'm going to move to California. You compromising yourself because God said Florida. You're not doing what He's telling you to do. Right there, you're being compromised because you're not following His lead. So, kingdom people, I'm saying that to say disobedience is you compromising yourself. Further disobedience is further compromising yourself. Not you per se, but the ones that do this. Engaging with people that have been compromised, and God is showing you what and who they are, and maybe even be saying you need to move around them, and you continue with them. They've been compromised. They're compromising themselves. And you will begin to see, if you are aware, as I said, people you may know, that you can know that this is happening with, you will see the compromise. You will see it in their behavior. And what do I mean by that? You will know, because you will know they're off. And then you will know, because this is how it happened for me. They're being compromised. Disobedience is a form of compromising yourself. You're putting yourself in a compromising position. When God say go, He mean go. When God say yo, He mean yo. When God say do, He mean do. He mean what He say. He mean what He say. But when you don't go with what He say, you compromise yourself. Kingdom people, they have been compromised. Beware. And that's all I have to say about that. If you like this video and or if it resonates with you, please just go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Then click on that red subscribe button and subscribe to my channel if you have not already done so. Thank you. Also, click on that bell right next to that red subscribe button so that you can get a notification every time I upload a new video, something like this one, Kingdom people. Also, if you are interested in any of the services that I presently offer, if you would like to listen to my podcast show, if you would like to sow a seed into me and my ministry, if you would like to follow me on any of my other social medias, all that information is right down below in the description box. Kingdom people, I am still offering, I think I'm going to just continue this. This is how I'm feeling, how I'm being led to offer you a life coaching package that fits your budget and your needs. We can work on a life coaching package that fits your budget and needs. Any of you who are, desiring to obtain my life coaching services. So, kingdom people, I love y'all so very much. You all know I don't want to leave you, but I do have to go right now, but I will be back to hold my kingdom people down. Now, kingdom people, with that being said, much love, light, and peace, and many blessings to you all. Above all else, let the Holy Spirit lead you in all things at all times. Don't compromise. Kingdom people, we are unmovable, we are untouchable, we are unshakable, and we are unstoppable. That is my time. Jesus girl is out. Peace.